Welcome to the Numerology and the Astrology for February 19th, 2021. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 17. And if you add the 1 and the 7 together, you get the number 8. Now, the number 8 is the number of the embodiment of emotions, specifically the heavier emotions such as grief, loss, and sadness. And I think that we have a tendency to try to disown them and kind of push them away from ourselves. But this number is associated with the heart and the lungs in Chinese medicine. So it's related to breathing and prana. And you'll notice that when you are grieving, you can take these huge gulping breaths, or if you're suppressing sadness, you'll have a tendency to hold your breath and to not take a deep breath. And so I think it's interesting that today, with the astrology also that's happening that we'll do in a minute, that we're dealing with this number 8 day. And you know, as I looked at this number 8 day, I always think of the opposite of summer, because the 8 is associated with Leo, and so the opposite of summer is winter. And here we have all of this intense stuff happening in this deep freeze in the south. And I thought we would kind of look at it from that slant or that angle. So this number makes us aware of the deep sadness that permeates the world. And let's take a moment and send love and support to those in the deep south, in the freezing temperatures. Homes are not built in a way that can handle such temperatures. There is so much happening for so many, and it just seems that there is no solution in sight. Yes, we will all come through this, but significant shifts need to happen as to how essential services are conducted in emergency times. All these governmental, state-run, for-profit groups really need to be reevaluated and potentially shifted. Services are not adequate for the people. Policies created to line the pockets of the rich are really at the root of many problems. Those policies are always at the whim of big money. And I find that just really sad. Because it doesn't really need to do this. It really doesn't need to do this. So, breathe, let go. Don't take on the sadness that doesn't belong to you. The astrology today. The goddess of love, Venus, squares with the god of war, Mars. It creates a type of competitive energy that makes days very long and requires tremendous effort to keep going. Tension and upset need to be expected. If you feel emotionally exhausted and drained, you are not alone. Many previous desires now appear as escapism and whims. That is disheartening for sure. We want to be realistic as to what is possible right now. Pipe dreams are just not helpful. The sun is in Pisces and it squares the moon in Gemini. Notice Pisces is very emotional, Gemini is very analytical. And notice all the tugs of war with the squares happening. Expect to feel the stress and strain, the discord and the obstacles. Do what you can in any way possible. The problems stand out, and that fuels tremendous disagreement and upset. Perhaps practice a soft and gentle approach rather than get aggressive. There are many significant and very sensitive issues up. No matter what, it feels as if the timing is just off. Everyone has value and everyone is important. We need to learn not to be at odds with reality. And we need to remember to be kind no matter what. No matter what, no matter what, no matter what, be kind. The mantra. That's the mantra, the Suzanne mantra. Okay. Do not make big purchases today. It may be an overreaction to external circumstances. While we want to feel better, big decisions are still in front of us. The moon is in Taurus, attempting to comfort us, but it goes into Gemini at around 11 a.m., making the duality even more apparent. That can trigger many to step outside of appropriate social behavior. Listen and try to be kind. My quote for today is another Chinese proverb. Yes, I'm on a roll with these at the moment. Okay. This one says, if you are patient in one moment of anger, you will escape 100 days of sorrow. That is so true. And my blog for today. I am so grateful to be living in this beautiful place. Yes, we have moments of pouring rain that pulled down trees. Yes, we have fire dangers in this globally changing climate crisis. But there are moments when we have to sit in gratitude for what we have rather than worry about what we don't have. The way to kindness is in recognizing that we have something to share with others that can make small differences in their lives. The other day, I drove into town to run errands and I saw a man at the corner of Sherwood Road needing a ride. I knew that if he were there, after I ran my errands, I would pick him up. I had a mask, he had a mask, and what is important is helping the elderly in such times. Even in this COVID-19 crisis, he clearly was in pain and was having trouble with his back, and then he was attempting to carry groceries. He was struggling. Anyone could notice that. Sure enough, he was there standing at the corner when I was done, and I brought him into the car and took him home. As he was talking, he said that he was 62 years old. Wow. Well, I'm 60. And that's when it hit me. This man had lived a hard life. His body was falling apart from the hardships and the struggles of this life, and he was clearly leaning towards that exit door that we'll all go towards at some point. He was like 62 going on 82. And while I have had my health challenges, goodness knows, I was grateful that my body was in much better shape and healthier on so many levels, even with the wear and tear of my ballet career and the stress and strain of all that physical effort that I put myself through. It makes one appreciate what we have. Once again, health is worth everything. When the body is suffering, it makes living so much more difficult. I admire those that live with chronic pain. I wish we had a world where we could help them even more than we do. I know that each of us will be challenged by our exit journey, and I pray for peaceful exits for all. Thanks, everyone.